For the first several months of 2021, Minecraft speedrunning was as active as it's ever been, with world records getting broken almost on a weekly basis at its peak. But the rapid progress inevitably slowed down, as the dedicated runners and strat developers of Minecraft speedrunning came closer to the limits of the game. While pre-version 1.9 speedruns have seen lots of world record activity lately, the last time a record in a later version was broken was all the way back in June, with Corbanos' 1632 world record in version 1.15. But on November 7th, that changed, as not only was there a long overdue world record, but it happened live during a tournament. It used strategies that had never been used in a run before, and although it's definitely real, it's also definitely not going to get verified. This is the craziest world record Minecraft speedrunning has seen in a long, long time. This is DoyPingu's 1618. There is so much to talk about with this run, but the best place to start is what was going on when the run started. The answer is Minecraft Speedrun League's 1.15 RSG Invitational Tournament, where 8 top runners, including DoyPingu, are grinding random seed resets to get good times in version 1.15. What's that? Sponsored by the Weekly Thing. Yeah, that's right. Minecraft Speedrun League is awesome. They've got a huge variety of tournaments, and if you've ever enjoyed a Weekly Thing video, you're legally obligated to go follow them on Twitch at twitch.tv/mcsrleague. Anyway, we're almost 6 hours into day 2 of the 1.15 Invitational, with 4 left to go in the tournament, after a 10-hour grind on day 1. Most people didn't expect the world record to be broken during this tournament, although, to be fair, some people did. About an hour earlier, Pingu choked a mid-18-minute run that would have given him the fastest time in the tournament at that point. He's not too happy, so he's muted up and ready to focus. And with former world records in versions 1.14 and 1.7 already behind him, Pingu loads the 38,830th seed of his 1.15 world record grind. But, like I said, this was no ordinary attempt. The route that DoyPingu used in this run was one that only 3 people in the world even knew about, and one that was so rare that it had never been used in a run before, and, of course, the first time it was ever played in a random seed run, it ended in a new world record. Let's take a look at how it happened. The way that DoyPingu is resetting worlds may look unfamiliar to you, and that's because he's using a setup called multi-instancing. Largely thanks to a speedrunner named Speckner, runners are able to run several instances of Minecraft at once, and instantly switch between them when they reset a world. Multi-instancing is completely allowed when it comes to runs getting verified on the leaderboard, but another tool that DoyPingu is using to speed up world loads, a mod called Starlight, is not. So, right off the bat, he's playing these runs knowing that if he gets the world record, it won't technically be verified. But, at the end of the day, it's not about the leaderboard. It's about beating the game as fast as possible. DoyPingu spawns in a plains next to an ocean desert, and by checking the block entities that show up on the pie chart of the F3 screen, he can see that there's a village within his spawn chunks. In 1.15, no matter what specific route runners are doing, they're looking for a coastal village, where they have a variety of ways of trading with villagers in order to get the ender pearls they need to get to the end. I'm going to take a second here to explain the Insomniac and Double Day speedrun routes, so if you're already familiar with those, feel free to skip to this time. The fastest theoretical route for version 1.15 is called Insomniac strats, and it's what Corbanos used in his former world record. In an Insomniac run, runners will start the run by gathering iron, gold, and emeralds from shipwrecks and ocean monuments. Once they have enough gold and emeralds, they'll find a village where they'll trade their emeralds to a cleric to level it up, trade their gold for more emeralds, which they'll also trade back to the cleric, and then gather wood, which they can trade to Fletchers for more emeralds. They'll get enough emeralds to finish leveling up the cleric and acquire the ender pearls they need. And then, they'll finish the run by going to the nether, getting blaze rods, returning to find the stronghold, and going to the end to kill the dragon. There is a viable alternative to Insomniac strats, however, a route called Double Day. Instead of doing their trading on the first day, in a double day run, runners would do some of their trading on the first day, getting 2 ender pearls, take their leveled up cleric into the ocean with them, go to the nether, and return to the overworld and sleep once it becomes night. On the second day, they'll be able to trade all of their remaining gold, instead of repurposing the leftover gold once the cleric's emeralds went out of stock. Instead of acquiring the additional emeralds by chopping wood, they'll instead rely on finding them in shipwrecks, which is faster, as long as they're lucky enough to find the emeralds they need. However, because runners have to wait for trading hours to begin on the second day, double day runs are still much slower theoretically than Insomniac runs, but they're also more consistent, resetting for an instant village instead of finding it in the middle of the run, and a generally more flexible route means double day runners will get decent runs more often. Long story short, DoyPingu is going to be using the double day route in this run, since he found the village before he found anything else. But there's also an optimization to this route that he's going to use, the aforementioned new strats that had never been used before in a run. We'll get back to that soon. DoyPingu spots the desert village on the coast of the ocean, and grabs some wood before heading in to make his axe, boat, and doors. After grabbing 7 beds, he's ready to lure an innocent villager into his boat and take him away from his home and family, never to return. He hits the open seas at 2 minutes and 5 seconds, where he's already on great pace, in part due to his coordinates. A large portion of speedruns in this category are spent traveling to the stronghold, but DoyPingu is already at 300 and -300 when he leaves the village, meaning he spawned about as far from the origin as he could have hoped to. On top of that, the ocean is northeast, meaning he's immediately traveling even further from the origin. He quickly spots a shipwreck, where he gets 5 emeralds and a handful of iron, but more importantly, a buried treasure map, which indicates that the treasure is right nearby. The treasure gives him 7 more emeralds, 6 gold, and the rest of the iron he needs to make tools, a flint and steel, and 2 buckets. You'll see why he needs 2 later. On top of the very good loot DoyPingu gets from the shipwreck and treasure, he's got a magma ravine right there, so he can enter the nether on great pace with a ton of progress already made in the run. After a somewhat sloppy portal, he's into the nether at 4 minutes and 5 seconds. He loads in right next to the nether fortress, and almost immediately reaches a blaze spawner. With an abundance of food and plenty of practice in the much more challenging blaze fights of pre-1.16, Pingu doesn't come close to dying during the blaze fight. After getting 2 blaze rods from 2 blazes killed in the first spawn cycle, he uses a strategy called Blaze TNT, where he uses his TNT from the buried treasure to blow up the area around the blaze spawner without destroying the blaze spawner itself, giving blazes more space to spawn and increasing the odds of more spawning. However, because he has to use blocks with suboptimal blast resistance, it's not too effective, and in retrospect, he wishes he had blaze bedded, which is more consistent in clearing out more blocks. After the next blazes spawn in, a ghast appears, which Pingu quickly takes care of by turning his render distance down to 2 chunks, unrendering the ghast. The 2 blazes that spawn in the second round both also drop blaze rods, and after going 3 for 5 over the next 2 spawn cycles, Pingu is leaving with a fantastic fortress split, and returns to the overworld at 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Pingu's nether split of just over 2.5 minutes is more than a minute faster than Corbanos's in his world record, and Pingu is now in an incredibly rare situation. He's finished the nether and has all of his blaze rods. He has a villager he's kidnapped waiting in his boat, and he has several gold ingots and emeralds already acquired. Most importantly, he has all of this at under 7 minutes. This is where the new innovation comes into play, the one that has never been pulled off before. This is Double Day Contaria. When completing a run using the Insomniac route, a runner will trade 60 gold to their cleric. Because they've already traded together, the cleric will give them a discount of 2 gold for an emerald instead of 3. The runner will trade 24 gold to get 12 emeralds, but when it restocks, the cleric will no longer offer the discount, and the runner will have to trade 36 gold to get the last 12 emeralds. However, a strat developer called King Contaria discovered a trick called discount extending, where if you complete between 2 and 9 gold trades with the cleric, once they restock, they'll still offer the price of 2 gold for 1 emerald. However, Insomniac runners haven't really adopted discount extending into their route because, well, as DoyPingu puts it, they don't like to use strategies that are beneficial to their speedrun. However, in a double day route, many people realized that this could be very useful since the runner was getting gold throughout the run as they traveled the ocean, meaning they could take advantage of discount extending on the first and second day, drastically reducing the amount of additional emeralds they needed to find. There was one small problem though. Double day Contaria didn't work. Runners would naturally want to complete their first day trades, with the discount extending before they went to the nether, because by the time they returned from the nether, trading hours would be over. But when runners went to the nether, the villager they were trading with became unloaded, which basically caused the villager's trading system to break, and in this case, made the discount extension non-existent. They later discovered that the discount extension still worked, but it only kicked in 10 minutes after it was initially triggered. So either way, so much for using this strat in a world record. But as you probably know by now, the runners and strat developers of Minecraft speedrunning tend to find a way. And only about a month before Pingu's record, 3 people worked together to find a few ways to overcome this problem with Double Day Contaria. King Contaria, DoyPingu, and Pangomai, another top 1.15 runner and strat developer. And while there was no earth-shattering discovery that suddenly made Double Day Contaria the new meta, they were able to come up with 3 extremely rare scenarios in which Double Day Contaria would still be viable. If the runner found a village with a brewing stand and a blacksmith with at least 4 gold, they could immediately trigger the discount extending, and still be able to trade on the second day after however long it took them to complete the trades on the first day. Finding 4 gold in a blacksmith is extremely rare though. The second scenario was if they entered the nether without leaving the spawn chunks of the overworld, which would cause the cleric to never be unloaded, and therefore not delay the day 2 trades. But finding a coastal village with a brewing stand, gold, and a nether enter all within spawn chunks is even rarer. The final scenario is simply to return from the nether so early that the runner can complete 2 sets of trades on the first day, while triggering the discount extending. Because they had already been to the nether, the villager would never be unloaded after the first day trading, so its trading timer would never break, and the runner wouldn't have to wait the 10 minutes to do second day trades. In the short time that had passed since these solutions were found, not a single one of these scenarios had come up in a viable run for Pingu or Pango, and no one else even knew about these theoretical fixes yet. But let's bring our focus back to Pingu's run. He's just left the nether at under 7 minutes. He already has 12 emeralds and 4 gold ingots. And he has a villager waiting in the boat with the blaze rods he needs to make a brewing stand. In other words, now is the time for Double Day Contaria to be put to the test. Pingu heads to the surface of the ocean, places his brewing stand, and trades his emeralds for redstone to level up the villager, then trades 4 gold for 2 emeralds to trigger the discount extension. It's at this point that the commentators of the tournament will permanently focus in on Pingu's run. And believe it or not, the 2 commentators are Chaos and King Contaria himself. You may remember Chaos as the commentator from whatever Marco's pre-1.9 world record. You may remember King Contaria from the 8 times I've said his name in the video already. And as Pingu is triggering the discount extension, Contaria has a moment of realization.
Doc, oh my god, Pingu, please do Contaria Insomniac, please do it. Oh my god, I love you, Pingu, I love you.
As if to prove our points, Chaos asks Contaria how Double Day Contaria works. Even the other commentators don't know about this route yet. Now, Pingu needs an ocean monument to get his 8 gold blocks, and after about 40 seconds of boating, he finds it. On the way, he gets a few more emeralds from another shipwreck. The commentators are continuing to freak out as they watch what is clearly world record pace unfolding. Pingu, meanwhile, is actually listening to the commentary while he's running, which doesn't exactly soothe his nerves. After the monument, he trades half of his gold and gets his first 5 ender pearls, then throws an Eye of Ender, which leads in the same direction he's been traveling throughout the run. He only needs 2 more extra emeralds to get 12 pearls, but when he checks one last shipwreck, he finds 7, meaning he can actually get 13 pearls, which is a luxury for version 1.15. He stops to sleep as King Contaria continues to try to explain the significance of the run to everyone who's familiar with the route, which is, well, everyone.
What Pango said is right. He basically just got for 1.16 place, he basically just got a sub 7 blind. But not only did he just get a sub 7 blind, he got a sub 7 blind with Monument.
Pingu follows his Eyes of Ender straight to the coast of a savanna. Because of his coordinates and the fact that strongholds prefer to snap onto the edge of a landmass instead of generating in the ocean, he docks on the coast and gets ready to triangulate above land. This is slower, but as Chaos pointed out,
it doesn't even matter if it's, like, not unexposed on the coast, because it's just so fast.
But this time, when Pingu throws the eye, it points back. The angle shows that not only is the stronghold in the ocean, but it's also very close, and the pressure is officially on, with Pingu being on one of the best paces we've ever seen in the category. The fastest ever end enter in the category is a 14:21 by Pangomon, and Pingu has over a minute to beat that, with nothing left but finding the stronghold and navigating to the portal room. In Korbanos' record, he didn't enter the end until about 15:30, and Pingu has over 2 minutes before then. With his chat suddenly blowing up, Pingu trades for his last ender pearls and follows the angle of his last eye. Seeing how shallow the ocean is, he assumes the stronghold won't be exposed and he'll have to triangulate it. So he throws another eye. The eye breaks, and while Pingu had 13 ender pearls, he only had 12 blaze powder, meaning he'll need a 1-eye portal to be able to finish the run. After just a few more seconds of boating though, he spots some stone brick underwater, and at under 14 minutes, he enters the stronghold. Now, in his previous world record, a 1713 in version 1.14 from all the way back in March, Stronghold Nav, or Finding the Portal Room, haunted DoyPingu, as nerves kept him from playing optimally, and it took him 90 seconds to find the portal room. In this run, he's still nervous, but this time, he doesn't let it get in his way. He doesn't get very lucky, but he's still into the portal room only 30 seconds after he entered the stronghold. Now, the moment of truth. There's a 30% chance that the portal will have 0 eyes, and the run will be dead.
There it is.
Oh my gosh. Please tell me it's a 1-eye.
It's a 2-eye.
It is 2-eye, it's the 2-eye. Oh my god.
You may have noticed Pingu grabbing lava on his way to the portal. This is where that second bucket from earlier finally comes in handy. The modern method of one-cycling the dragon requires a piece of obsidian, and while 1.16 runners almost always have extra obsidian or crying obsidian, 1.15 runners usually don't, so they make one themselves with a bucket of lava and a bucket of water. At this point, all there is to it is that Pingu has an amazing shot at world record, as long as he doesn't choke and he doesn't get screwed by a slow dragon perch. He's shaking, so he pauses for a second while filling the end portal. It doesn't help that the commentators in his ear are freaking out, although you can't blame them. Pingu tabs out to mute the commentary and gets ready for one of the biggest end fights he'll ever attempt. King Contaria is beside himself, knowing there's a good chance that a route that's named after him will result in a world record in the first ever completed run it's been used in. Using Double Day Contaria directly comes in clutch here too, as he uses one of his leftover ender pearls to pearl to the fountain, which saves a bit of time, and prepares to use the other to pearl to the middle when the dragon perches, which both allows him to stand farther away, making the dragon more likely to perch quickly, and makes DoyPingu less likely to miss the perch. The one cycle itself shouldn't be a challenge, as Pingu has 6 beds primed and ready in his hotbar. With an instant perch, he would be beating the game in under 15.5 minutes. But the dragon doesn't want to cooperate. 50 excruciating seconds pass with no perch, and the commentators start to despair.
No, I think world record is dead.
But at just under 16 minutes and 10 seconds, the run culminates in the most intense 20 seconds I've seen in a while. The dragon strafes towards the middle of the island, which is a sign that it's almost definitely about to snap towards the fountain and perch. Pingu recognizes this, but doesn't want to misjudge it, and waits for the dragon to actually snap its head to the side before he throws his pearl. Of course, the dragon does snap, but as Pingu anxiously sprint jumps forward, he accidentally mistimes the pearl throw, throwing it as he moves down, sending the momentum of the pearl straight into the ground, leaving him still far from the fountain. Suddenly, he's gotta get to the fountain as fast as possible and start blowing up beds before the dragon gets too low, meaning the timing will be harder too. There's no more room for error. But You don't become the best Minecraft speedrunner in the world by messing up in these scenarios. And without faltering, Pingu keeps sprinting straight to the fountain, sliding into place and placing the bed on the corner. And with the dragon low enough right as he arrives, Pingu immediately starts blowing up his beds, where instincts kick in, and he kills the dragon with ease.
Oh my god! Pingu, Pingu, Pingu. Pingu, 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 Pingu! Pingu!
Good. That's world record. Good thing.
While it's not going to show up on the leaderboard, this new world record was the culmination of strat developers and speedrunners working on a category that we've known was very improvable for a long time, and they're nowhere near done. A sub 15 run in the category is certain to happen in the somewhat near future, and the limits that have been theorized are far lower than that. As for Pingu, well, just 4 days after setting this world record, he got a new personal best in version 1.7 to reclaim the combined RSG world record from Infume with a time of 50 minutes and 33 seconds, reasserting himself as the best overall speedrunner in the game. A sub 50 combined RSG time is on the horizon, just as surely as a sub 16, sub 15, and times beyond that are for version 1.15. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe and ring the notification bell to see more videos like this one. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So, while I was finishing editing this video, whatever Marco actually got a 16-17 in 1.15. So, that's cool. You know, good for him.